Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is a continuing scene of New York by Dark. When we last left off, there was an aspect that was called by the Council of Bishops. And, well, there has been some shenanigans and some new revelations. Old acquaintances get reacquainted. So let's pick up where we left off as we find Reggie and Lavask walking back inside the church. Reggie having just beaten down one of the members of the Gutter Dogs. You can see, Lavask, that your pack mate is feeling rather good about himself.
And Levesk is, promptly fawning. Well, she has, as I recall, she has a decent vernaculum to them. Yes, she does. So she's, fawning praise over them as one really should, and she genuinely is because she likes Reggie and Reggie is nice to her and everything like that. She's like doing the whole golf clap thing as she minces alongside him like. Oh, Reggie is as always. You have presented yourself as the most potent fighter for the Southern Cane and for the Last Boys, and you have made me the very, very epic night.
He looks at you dismissively. No fucking shit. I'm bad as a motherfucker, Lavask. You could probably learn a few things like that. Yeah, I understand. He takes you by the wrist, and he Reggie's just a dick. He just mockingly flips your wrist around. Like, I know you're not the fighting type, but probably learn a brawl.
And she she's reluctant to kind of well, she's not reluctant to admit it, but she is kind of. I'm sorry, but that is actually really funny.
I didn't want to say limp-wristed, but
okay, I've got to calm down. I've got to calm down. Let me rethink. Yeah, Levesque probably just kind of she laughs somewhat nervously, even though it's kind of Reggie's kind of he's kind of pointing out something that's obvious. You could see this from space with Levesque. But eventually she just kind of calms down, as will her handler. That is true. Perhaps you can give me some pointers to give someone a good rat hook, And she imitates doing a right hook, though it's probably the most limp-wristed right hook you could ever see, It's like something you'd expect from a. It's like something what would happen if you combined RuPaul's Drag Race with Deliverance or something. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. All right, I am
RuPaul's Drag Race combined with Fight Club. That's a better one.
I am going to be performing a role on you for you to counter this. I'm going to call into tested.
Levesque is going to fail, I know it, but roll it anyway. I think it'd be funny.
Just what's appropriate? All right, I wanted to surprise you. What's an appropriate counter to seduction?
Seduction? An appropriate counter to seduction?
Wits and something, or
wit, self-control, perhaps.
Yeah, actually, that's fair enough.
Or willpower. I don't know. Depends where you're going with it.
If it was willpower, that would be like a mystical kind of thing, I would think.
Yeah.
But all right. Well, here, what Reggie tries to say, and bombs at it anyway. But he tries to get into your face and says, "Yellow Vask, would you like that? Would you like me to teach you a lesson?" Maybe the him trying to get a rise out of you just a little too far. It's lost its charm.
Okay, so Levesque just like titters somewhat. Reggie. Is there anyone that I would most like to be taught a lesson by? Would be you. And she won't. God, how to describe this? I've seen this done before and done it to me as well a few times. But she basically gives him a very light tippy tip with the back of her heel. It's not like an actual like kick or anything like that, but it's more of kind of like a playful kick thingy. I have no idea how to describe this without actually doing it.
Oh, like a hacky sack kick, like one from lift your leg up and then kick someone in the ass like that. Is that what you're trying to do? Kick him in the ass?
Yeah, kind of, but she's not trying to go like the front style kicks. It's more kind of like, oh god, if I knew a movie where I've seen this before, I would tell you, but I haven't. I've only ever seen this done in real life.
Right. I think I know what you're getting at, and you're being playful.
It's just a bit of a playful swat kick hit, whatever.
Yeah. Okay. That doesn't really tick him off, given his vernaculum rating to you.
She's not trying to tick him off anyway.
Okay, so let's transition to let's get Jay in here real quick. Jay, you had received through the grapevine several characters in the know and K-Knight here in the city that this was the meeting place for the esbat. Now, you have traveled to Roosevelt Island, and you were told that you'd come to church. I'll bring up the picture right here. It looks very modest, though sizable. Place to establish. You might think is a communal haven, maybe, or just a meeting grounds. Despite Roosevelt Island's smallness, it is compact and defensible. You'd probably figure would make for a decent command center if there was one. When you come outside, you happen to see two K-Knights. One of them looks like they've been beaten to a bloody pulp. And the other is this person looks kind of like a girlish boy or a tomboyish girl. You can't quite make it out. But they're kind of berating their broken comrade, as it is.
So, Theo Paulo is currently wearing just kind of a vest, and you can see that despite kind of carrying himself like he's probably a 11 out of 10, he is quite plain looking, maybe a little paunch to him, as well as some really garish leather pants. He goes on and kind of moves a bit close to them, kind of giving him just staring a bit. And there's a certain glee to his eyes as he kind of looks upon the battered and bruised individual. But he stays silent for the most part, just to see what happens, how they respond.
Okay, we will go over to Tyler momentarily then.
Tyler spits some blood out of his mouth and looks up at the newcomer. Fuck you looking at?
I see someone who knows how to have a good time. Yeah,
Tyler. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Tyler screws his face up. Fucking weirdo.
Fucker's probably from Queen does.
Oh, well. Good evening. My name is Dio Paulo. I am here from a long ways away, but this place does look like it knows how to throw a party. Yes. Pleasure to meet all of you.
Jean just rolls her eyes and says, whatever. We'll help Tyler up. And, yeah, Tyler, what... Okay, last we left off, you were severely hurt. I'll bring you. I'll bring you back up to the
I'm pretty
mauled.
fucked up.
I'll bring you up back to mauled.
All right.
So, but your blood level is pretty good. So, if you wanted to start healing, I would suggest you do that.
Yeah, I definitely want to do that.
Jean will look to you, Jay, and just say, "You got a pack?"
Unfortunately, the majority of them are still well in their spiritual retreat up in Montreal. They believe themselves a bit more advanced and, well, too good for the street life, but I know that there's much wisdom to be held roaming around. But no, I do not. Not yet.
Dude, you talk too fucking much. Tyler, let's go. out of character, that's not really true. Jay, that's just...
No, it's cool.
You're gonna get acquainted with Jean.
Tyler, he gives... I'm sorry, I couldn't... What was your name again?
Dio Paulo.
He gives Tio Paulo, like, that same, like, who the fuck is this guy? Look. All right, Tio Paulo, whatever the fuck your name is. You can follow us inside if you want.
Thank you.
and Jean will, like, when you guys get to the door, Jean is gonna let you go first, and you'll hear him kind of like slip out, like, "You're fucking valet." But yeah, you can enter inside. And when you do, Tio will see quite a number of individuals here. You'll understand that you've probably arrived maybe fashionably late. When you step in the aisle between the pews, there are medical gurneys, a line of them set up, and on each one there's a human being that's been like strapped down. And these people look in poor conditions. And they're not quite sedated. You can kind of hear the moaning, and there's no one screaming, but yeah. It's probably because they're mostly been bled out. And
all right, so Zio will go ahead and kind of just kind of breathe in, though it's a very exaggerated thing to do, and then he kind of moves to each corpse, or not corpse, with the bodies, the ones that are at least mostly stilled, and just kind of gives a nice little caress to either the cheek or something. And you can't really tell if he's doing this because he feels some sort of connection to it, or if he's just doing it to be weird, because you'll probably notice there's a lot of things he does to be weird. But he remains mostly silent, aside from maybe muttering what you would think would be some kind of prayer, but who knows?
Okay. You'll notice that some of the individuals, you might sense people looking your way, but no one's really gonna ask you what you're doing here.
Anyways, kind of looking at all the corpses or all the bodies, to anyone who will kind of pay attention, since he's mostly a preachy type, he'll go ahead and say, "Oh, brothers and sisters, each of these foolish mortals is but a stepping stone. And I assure you, with me here, their blood is not the only use we can wring out of them. There is much more that they can offer to us to help our goals among this city. But you have to be willing to ask for it, or sometimes take it." And he kind of traces the lips of one of the corpses. Yes. There is a lot of work to be done, in addition to what y'all have been doing. The Loa, they have long been calling, long been asking for those to listen. Their blessings.
You'll notice that there's a very small, young-looking girl. She looks... It's hard to guess her age. You can't tell if she's just a mature young girl or someone who's immaturely... It's rather immature, kind of by the way she dresses. She kind of nudges you and says, "Hey, dude, do you realize you're talking to yourself?"
There is always someone listening. Trust me. My name is Tio Paulo. What is your name?
She looks up at you and blinks. "Call me Bubbles."
No, Bubbles, pleasure to meet you. I'm sure you know how to... Well, I'm sure you know what you're doing here. But for the longest time, I've heard that there's so much death occurring, and yet the wages of such are not fully harvested. And that's why I'm here, to provide a more spiritual assistance to my brothers and sisters here in the Sabbat.
She says, "Oh, fuck. Okay, if you're one of those kind of people, you might want to... You see that guy over there? Yeah, Texas-looking guy. You might want to speak to him."
Thank you, Bubbles.
And then she mutters, "Fucking weirdo," as you walk away. Let's go back over to Tyler. So Tyler, now Gene's leading you in. Let's say you've gotten another point of health removed after you spent another blood point. So what are you gonna do? Because you should be aware, heads will take notice of
Right.
grisly looking sight.
I'm gonna walk in there with my head up. Yep. Like nothing happened.
Okay. You'll see that Marcus was in a conversation with that gentleman Peter that you were introduced to. But he'll stop mid-sentence and kind of like tell him to like hold on. Marcus comes over to you and he'll ask like, "God damn, Tyler, what the fuck happened to you, bro?"
Tyler will lower his head a little bit and lean in. Got beat up by this fucking cocksucker. And he'll motion with his eyes over to the Lost Boys and Reggie.
Yeah, Marcus, he dips a look over, and he looks back at you, say, "God damn, Tyler, you sure know how to pick him." Guess I should have told you. Reggie's not necessarily one you just go straight on with. He's a mean motherfucker.
Yeah, well, it ain't the end. You can tell Tyler's really pissed the fuck off.
You see Marcus licks his lips a little bit and smiles. Yeah? All right, but play it cool. Remember, this was an Ashbit. This right here is our once and only time that we try to be civil.
I know.
All right, then.
He'll
You should
give
get yourself...
Reggie a look, though. He'll make sure he'll make eye contact with Reggie.
You want to try to do like an intimidation?
No.
Or
No, an intimidation.
second? Okay. Yeah, Reggie, you know, he returns the look. He actually does like 2 fingers in his eyes and then 2 fingers at you, like I'm watching you. Okay. So where would you go from here? Marcus, and also I throw in Marcus will advise you. You should probably not mention what just happened or what you're about to do. You don't want to make things seem premeditated.
Tyler will give him a smile. Not a word.
Let's see. Let's go back to Jason real quick. There's a lot of characters here for us to canvas to meet with. Okay, so Jason, you will notice, kind of like towards the front of the pews, Serenity and Blair are still kind of chatting a little bit, and it kind of looks like a friendly chat that they're having. And you'll notice that both Little John and Tony have they're kind of like waiting around near them, but they're having their own like little chat. You could tell. Yeah, it'd be up to you if there's anybody else you want to engage with.
Can't really think of anyone. To be fair, I've forgotten what questions I had in mind last week that I wanted to ask. But either way, I do think that perhaps if there's any possibility that Levesque and Tyler could have another word, that'd be okay.
Yeah. Well, that'd be residing on Tyler, but yeah.
That would be fine. I mean, he's not in the best of moods right now, but you could try.
Okay. All right. Levesque will, at some point in the time where Tyler has departed from the rest of their pack, Levesque will approach them and be like, "Oh, hello again, Tyler."
Tyler will look her up and down. What do you want?
Nothing. If I thought that I'd come over and say hello again, and perhaps ask what your plans are for the rest of the evening or for the immediate future.
Why are you so interested?
Because I am bored. And also because I wish to create some excitement in the city, but also creating a opportunity for perhaps they sort of came to advance their agenda in New York.
Well, I'm not comfortable sharing that information with you.
Well, I suppose that is fine then. So, if we are going to be doing anything together as a pack or as a, how you say, unified force, then I do believe that perhaps someone of a greater station should be the one to direct us, no?
If you say so.
And we will. So, if there is anything that you wish to ask me, then perhaps you should ask it now, or I shall otherwise abdicate and perhaps set to get some more excitement out of this night whilst it is still not it still have some life in it, no?
He'll look her up and down again, pointedly.
It's almost as if they know.
I don't have any more questions for you.
Okay, then I will bid you a good evening, and she'll give a somewhat theatrical bow and then mince her way off to. I think I'll say that she'll try and go over to Serenity and Blair and see how that's going on.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
Yeah, Tyler's pissed off.
Naturally.
Yeah, I mean, they're not gonna tell you to go away. You can kind of blatantly eavesdrop into the conversation. The part that you come into is Blair is basically saying that you would be delighted to see Shangri-La again. And you notice there's an extra little bit of glee at the part where she says, I know Tony would love to accompany me.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's cool. She'll be polite and wait until the two of them regard her presence before she'll smile and bow to the two of them. I apologize if I'm interrupting anything, my bishops. But there was one question that I must present to the two of you that I do not think that Bishop Mendoza was able to answer me.
Both Serenity looks up at you. Blair gives you a warm smile and says, "Oh, and what was that, my darling?"
Well, the exact nature of the role which the Sabbat are picturing for myself and my fellow Knights, I'm a little bit confused as to what direction we as a whole are to be pointed in. And I do not think that I actually understand the direction as a whole. If it is not too above my station for me to inquire, that is.
Serenity says to you, "It's not above your station. However, your presentation could use more work. You've exposed how little understanding you truly have. I'm sorry, Blair. I suppose that I have not taken this one to task yet. Let me explain."
Désolé.
And Blair just kind of gestures like, "Go right ahead." Lusk, the Marilla of this city, although so very painfully unimaginative, do not lack necessarily in their own set of versatility. Tell me, with someone with your particular skill set and the numbers, some 5, 10 exponential with the weight of centuries behind them, do you really think it would be wise to just go in guns blazing? Perhaps just firebomb them with some Molotov cocktails?
I do not think that that would be a particularly good idea, given most context. Though I do believe that that was most likely going to be a, a end result, or perhaps a result for one more lower down the ladder. But as far as the total conquest of the city of New York, I would presume to believe that it would be a matter of, moving each individual piece across the board of the chessboard. Or perhaps it would be more simpler, like checkers.
Quite right. And therefore, the piece that, well, we are more aligned to taking will take some patience. It'll take planning, and it will take much, much research. We only know of a presence. What we don't have are names and locations, nor an adequate understanding of what they truly bring to the fold. We have a vague sense of their area. So, this is, in the nights to come, the point when we must get our hands dirty and step into the fray. I know that the chores I seem to give you seem boring and distracting. My girl.
Not at all. Not at all. I just worry that my own contributions are not doing these jobs that they should be. It is a worry, of course. I am a perfectionist.
My sweet girl, I gave you the chore. Rest assured, the aim is meant to be delivered towards the right target.
Well then, in that case, my bishop, perhaps I should endeavor to continue in the task that has been assigned to me. And I should not question your wisdom any further.
Blair will actually step a little closer towards you and reach out her small, delicate hand and take me by the wrist. She'll say to Serenity, "If you don't mind, dear sister, may I walk with your packmate here? Perhaps I can give her a little bit of a different perspective, as there are some tasks I think I have that would further our collective need." Serenity just gives the briefest of smiles, and she'll nod. And she'll kind of lead you towards actually, she'll lead you towards the back, towards a corridor that will take you guys out towards a courtyard that's located towards the back of the church. For the moment, we'll return to you. Let's go back to Jay. Inquire what he's doing. I would say you would have seen a group of. You saw some of these Canaanites having moved and exiting from your view. But yeah, there are, again, many Canaanites here.
Are there any of them, like, because I know I think I might have heard bishops mentioned, and I wanted to know if there's like a bishop free to speak with at least.
Well, there is the person that the little girl pointed out for you.
Okay,
I should bring up a
that-
picture. Yeah, let me bring up his picture real quick. Uh, There we go. Yeah, that's the man she pointed out.
All right, so he'll go ahead and head in his direction and try and give a rather supplicant position as he approaches him. You know, not really being one who. Well, yeah, he'll be. Excuse me, Bishop, but a word of your time, please.
You must be new. Looks you up and down. I don't recognize your face, but anything I can do for a fellow brother of the sword?
Yes.
How can I help you?
My name is Theopalo. I am a nomad from Montreal. I am of certain gifts which I would like to offer the Sword of Cain here. Gifts that I believe would help us take the most advantage of the death that is to come.
Eagerness I can sense in you. How very helpful. All right. Would you like to step somewhere in private?
I do not require privacy. I am new here after all, and any who wish to know what I have to say and do are more than welcome to it right now, at least until I've earned my keep here.
Such humbleness. Very well. You see that there's a. You can't quite. You could place that this one might be of Caribbean or West Indian descent. That's kind of hanging over his shoulder, as he's kind of standing next to a stage, and she's somewhat casually just sitting on top of the stage with her legs dangling off. But as you're talking to this bishop here, he'll introduce you to her, and he'll say, "Let me introduce you to Ingrid. She's my very close companion. Don't let her look menace you too much, but you'll see Ingrid just give you a smile and nod."
A pleasure to meet you. I have a suggestion, if you are willing to hear of it, because I know there's much to be done here, much information to be gathered, and I have a rather blunt force methodology of trying to acquire this. One of my gifts that was passed to me in a rather, well, we'll say interesting embrace is that the spirits beyond this land, those who have been met with death, well, they go unnoticed by many, but not myself. While I have no eagerness to see any more death than is required, I do know that it is much required here. Perhaps a few of us could try and kidnap and worse, kill those who would be stereotypically serving the ivory tower. And those who are willing to talk, well, I'm sure they would be more than they would share information. But if they don't talk in this life, I could get them to talk in the next.
I think I have an understanding of you. Yes, I am passively familiar with types of your expertise. I have to tell you, to be honest, your plan isn't bad. Hinges on a lot of ifs. But
I agree.
I do like that it is bold. He'll take you by the shoulder and kind of like stretch you under his wing as if to guide you to walk a certain way.
Okay,
He'll
and
go over he'll look over his shoulder, pointing. You see that woman over there? She was the one. For all intents and purposes, that is Serenity. Your character may not know that at the moment. He'll point her out though. It says that woman over there is rather specialized in the type of skill you're talking about. And I can't help but foresee that at some point you're going to be acquainted with her if you do plan on going down this road. But fair warning to you, there has been recently, well, as recent in our time that you can measure, a incident where some powers that have flirted with the otherworldly realms have been misconstrued for diabolic acts. You would do well to make sure that no scent of such a thing finds its way towards you.
of course, I pay homage to the Loa, but they are not my masters. The only master that I will call is he who from which all our damnation comes. And I know that to give yourself to any diabolic force well, it is the ultimate display of weakness, and that is something that the sword of Cain does not need.
I'm glad we have a clear understanding of that. Loa, you say. I take it you're from Caribbeans, West Indies, perhaps?
Well, my one of my parents was in another life, but that is where I was brought into the night. And the origins of such have, like I said, gifted me with connection to that which is beyond.
You might also find some kinsmanship with my friends over there. He points to a group of gentlemen who almost look like they're in uniform, as a lot of them have like similar styles of leather jackets and pants, and they have a very right now they have this. They're all wearing like masks, very blank looking masks that are. I don't know how quite to put it, but they're basically just slots for eyes and a mouthpiece. But they are done up in a way that kind of looks like a skull. Well, it's not very artistic. He'll point them out. And he says, "Those boys there, they are a nomad like yourself, as you say. Though theirs is not quite the road, but the sea. They've spent a long time in the Gulf, around the Caribbeans. I owe them my thanks for bringing me here. They're called the Jolly Rogers. Silly name, you might think, but they are a amiable group, not boisterous. But yes, I think you might find them. Well, they will have a little bit of familiarity if there's any missing in the way of culture, kinsmanship, if you will.
I appreciate the help, and if there is anything you would require of me, please do not hesitate.
Where is it that you are from again?
Well, my former pack is in Montreal, but like I said, I was risen in the Caribbean, and we bounced around all the way in search of, well, our souls, so to speak, trying to get a better understanding of our various paths. And while they are currently dedicated to their faith up there, I feel that I am needed, or perhaps even required elsewhere. And so that's what brings me here.
Let me see. Well, partake of the blood and make yourself known. I am sure the sword needs all the soldiers it can get. How you assist your other brothers and sisters is up to you. I'm sure you'll gravitate towards someone whom could find a particular use for your skills. In time, may even have a task for you.
Well, thank you. Just send the word and I will be yours to command.
And where is it that I may find you?
There is a small group of fellow mortal practitioners of Voodoo, which I owe my current presence to. I am among them as a priest, a santero, a man of their faith, but they're nothing to me but tools. And right now that is where I am residing among them.
Did you say?
Yes.
Are you practiced in the rites of the sword?
Yes, there are. I will say I'm an initiate of such practice, but it is one that I have thrown myself into wholeheartedly as much as I have in my studies of the other world.
That is good. I'm glad to hear that. In the times to come, we're going to need men of the faith who can keep their resolve and guide the sword on the battlefield. I think you see that man over there, and he's pointing over to. Let me just bring up the picture. That man over there. You should inquire with him. He's putting together a pack, rather young. You may need someone to perform the day-to-day functions that is required of a priest that serves the sword. Maybe he'll let you fall in with him if think him and his can congeal with you and yours.
I will speak with him when he is free, I suppose.
Quite right. I take a vested interest in making sure that morality amongst Sabbat are at its utmost peak. In time, I may even call upon you to help me assist in a ritus if you'd be interested.
It would be my honor.
Very good. Let me switch over to Cole. Let me keep you waiting. Nicole, are you with us?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah, so what does Tyler do right now?
Hmm. Well, there's really no one else that he would want to talk to at the moment.
Okay.
So I think he'll just stay near his pack mates for now.
Well, if you get close to Duck, Duck's gonna ask you what the fuck happened to you.
Tyler's gonna tell him the same thing he told Marcus.
And you're gonna indicate that it was Reggie
Mm-hmm.
did that to you.
And again, he's gonna tell him it ain't over.
Mhm. Duck is gonna ask you something. He's gonna say, "Look, Tyler, I'm gonna do this. You gotta come at it right. And I mean, I'm proud of you. You got knocked down. You want to get back up. But knowing how to nurse a grudge in the Sabbat, like walking a tightrope, you know? You don't want too many people to think you can't roll with the punches or that you can't be put in line. Well, of course, nobody wants to be put in line. You shouldn't be put in line. But it's like a game, you see. A game you gotta kind of play. Someone beats you down hard enough, they let you live. Gotta give it time. Gotta nurse it. Just for a little bit. Next time, may not spare you.
I understand.
I can get you ready for this. That means you're gonna step up and you're gonna throw the gauntlet down publicly.
He'll nod. Yeah, I'm ready for this.
All right. We'll wait till the party gets started again. I'll do it for you. Not a problem.
Thanks, Duck.
Oh, you'll owe me. Boy, you will owe me.
Yeah.
When you'll see that woman Dawn again, kind of like swing by you guys, and she'll really start talking to Duck a little bit, though she's not like ignoring the rest of you guys. But you'll pick up that there's an air of familiarity between the two of them, and Dawn just like says, "My God, it's almost like everyone's gone. I don't recognize half of these fucking people." And Duck kind of nods mightily. He's like, "Yeah, it was bad, Dawn. It was really fucking bad." And Dawn looks over at you. Tyler, what the fuck happened to you?
uh, he'll just say, "Leave it alone for now. I'll tell you later."
Shrugs. Dawn tries to say to you guys, collectively, she seems kind of like uncomfortable saying it. She's like, by the way, guys, I want to thank you for not eating me. Thanks for remembering me. I'm sorry, Lord McGurk. And, Buck says, well, I'm not going to lie. Kind of wanted to, but wanted to give you the benefit of the doubt. Besides, I don't even know what the hell really went down. But she agrees. She says, neither do I. Neither do I, but what's to come? I can't wait to get out on the streets. I can't wait to start cracking some heads, taking the names and the numbers. I mean, I hope y'all don't think that just because I share blood with them means I've shared blood with them, if you catch my drift. Marcus kind of just nods.
That's fair. I'm glad we kept you around.
You know, honestly, guys, I think we should just fucking corner the market on it. Fuck the rest of them. She's waving to the Sabbat. The rest of the Sabbat. I think with Burns, Gutter Dogs, we could take all of Brooklyn. What would you say? Duck's, he's definitely enthusiastic about it. He's like, fuck yeah, we could do that, man. Guns, some fucking targets.
You could see a smile creep on Tyler's face.
And Dawn says, oh, I'll show you guys, though. I know some of their ways. Show you how to hit them up. I get past them. I slip them up. Sweet. All right. So let's go back over to Jason real quickly.
Okay.
So there you are, sitting in a small little courtyard garden with Claire on a stone bench, and Tony's just brooding in the background. Like, I can't believe I gotta fucking be here for this shit. And Claire, she kind of nonchalantly starts like picking some of the flowers. She says, "Well, my little perceptive one, you tell me, what do you think we should do?"
I'm sorry, is Blair asking that to Lovesk?
Mm-hmm.
Well, with my understanding of the situation as a whole, I do believe that the acquisition of armaments, which I do believe has already been started, and then the scouting of the most likely places where the Camarilla, and she theatrically spits on the ground, away from Blair and any other Canaanites, of course, because, you know, would be the most sensible first approach, I would wager. But, of course, I think that I would already be... I think that I would not be the first one to come up with that idea.
It is often the idea. Simple one. But alas, like coaxing rats out of their little scurry holes.
Hmm.
What would draw Tremere out? What would pique your curiosity, my dear?
the term. I can only think of two things. Number one, a most potent interest in something relating to the occult, or something that belongs to them being stolen.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are a few things that I do recall the last Tantry holding very dear to. Though I could not say if those losses were recouped. Be in mind, well, we did make sure to settle the place. Alas, we could not be there for the cleanup. Do you have an adventuring spirit, Levesk?
Sorry, can you just say that again, Bruce? You're really quiet for some reason.
Sorry, trying to maintain Blair's creepy little
No, that's okay.
It's yeah. She says, "Do you have an adventuring spirit?"
I can be most adventurous at times, my bishop.
That is good. On the grounds of Columbia University, there was a laboratory. I say in the past tense because, well, we did burn it down. The whole building wasn't destroyed, just its interior department gutted, in ruin. However, as it was much to my dismay, it was all that we could do. Getting inside the place was very, very hard, nonetheless, to set fire to it. But there was a repository of what I believe was equipment, personal artifacts used on the daily basis by those who would conduct their experiments there. So took many, many, many nights of waiting and watching. Wasn't it, Tony? Oh, I remember those poor cramps I just had to rub out for you. And you can kind of see like Tony get like really skeeved out by that mention. He doesn't totally looks away from the two of you.
Mm-hmm. Do tell me more, my bishop. What kind of things did you find?
Well, like I said, we couldn't extract anything out of there. But when we hit the place, they being the Tremere, they were in there. And I know there were some debts. So what happened to their particular artifacts? They were recovered or interred. Ashes. Only Cain could know. But it would do well if we could establish whether or not that old laboratory is up and running again. I have the sneaking feeling that just be back. It's why I have so tried so hard to make people understand why we need the silence. If they knew that we were back, then wherever they were comfortable before, they would flee from again.
And you wish me to examine this place?
It's
No?
not me. It's not for me to order you. But if you don't agree with certain conventional methods, well, I have put a most unconventional task before you.
And then perhaps I shall have a look at this most unconventional means that I can contribute to the cause. So obviously, I would not be able to do this alone, but that will be a matter of conversing with the rest of my pack. So,
And of course, if you do find enough credible information that warrants a joint operation, I'm sure my pack would more than welcome the challenge and to give the assistance to yours.
That is perfectly fine. I think I will take this up with the rest of my pack, if it is permissible, my bishop.
But of course, we all have the same endeavors, don't we?
Then I will not waste any more of your time, my bishop. And she will bow and then she'll head back to the rest of her pack if she's able to.
Yeah, you're able to. Peter and Reggie have linked up again. Little John is sitting beside Serenity at the moment, and Serenity herself, she's almost coincidentally talking with that other woman, Liberty, another member of what you would assume to be Blair's pack. And I think once all the bishops get corralled again, they'll resume their council with the mass. All the characters, you are free to sit wherever you wish. But I guess for Tio, what you see, you do see how people group together. You see Tyler and Jean sit with two other fellows and a very small Asian woman. You might not know the dimension of who's with whom, but you can see that this large group there's some bond between them. The Jolly Rogers, as Bishop you spoke to, had pointed out, they sit all amongst themselves, and it's very easy to see who is in that pack. As I said before, they all wear something similar to a uniform. And, oops. Sorry about that. And the woman that Mendoza did point out to you, who said you might want to speak to concerning the particular skill set you have. She sits along with also who she was talking to, and a few other individuals. You also notice that the bodyguard of Blair is also on their wing. So, if anyone had politics, I'd let them roll it to kind of get a sense of the room.
I hate to do this, but I think I need a log for a bit. I'm sorry about that.
What?
I need to log out for a bit. I got some stuff I need to take care of here.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
Cool.
That's fine.
But yeah, I'll go ahead and catch up with y'all later.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Thanks for running it.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so yeah, what happens next is the council resumes. You hear some more deliberating going back and forth, and essentially there has reached a consensus that Blair and Serenity will take up the challenge of laying the groundwork for what they're going to term the invasion of Manhattan. while Mendoza and the Paladin, Jacob Burns, will focus their efforts on diverting the incoming Assamite crisis that Burns has laid out. Um, they remind the group that they remind the masses that no one is bound to their pack affiliations in the matter of taking on, any individual task or interest in it. But ranks will be pulled, and when commands are issued and tasks are given. Once you're a part of a mission, deviation will not be tolerated until its completion. And okay, there's two more things I got to get out the way here. Serenity will approach the stage. Well, approach the front of the stage, and she'll call Little John up to the stage. And when John reaches there, she announces to the crowd that though some of you may not know of the past transgressions of my own Templar here, John, the council has decided that his punishment for it has been expedited. And that with this final rite, he will be reconfirmed and re-anointed as a Templar under me. Now, Levesque, do you want to roll a perception empathy real quick? Jason, are you with us?
Oh, sorry, hang on. I forgot to unmute myself. I rolled my dice and I got 0 successes. So,
okay, you just might hear Reggie popping his knuckles. And there's not much motion from the crowd. You don't really pick up anything from anyone else. So what happens next is you'll see that Little John strips his shirt off, and he's given a cat of nine tails, something very, very menacing looking. Looks like it's been handcrafted just for this occasion. And it's passed to him by Blair. Little John begins to beat himself with it over the back. It doesn't really take long for the blood to get everywhere. And the council actually proceeds on as John's doing this. So kind of there for everyone to see. If there are any questions from the players to any characters about this, now's the time to ask.
I'm pretty certain that Levesque kind of gets the idea. Yeah, go ahead, Nicole. Sorry.
Tyler's gonna say, "What the fuck is he doing?"
Marcus will lean over to you and answer your question. He'll say, "It's a rite of contrition, Tyler. John fucked up a long time ago. Now he has to face a public humiliation for it."
Tyler nods in understanding.
So yes, in between the whips and the cracks of leather against the skin, Blair, for her part, will request that Lord McGurk stand to be addressed. And you might hear Duck just roll his eyes, and yeah, you might actually hear him roll his eyes. And it's like, oh, fuck, not this again. But he stands up and doesn't say anything, but just looks at her like, yeah, what is it? And Blair says, "I require that you lend your pack mate, Jean, to me for inspection." And Duck almost looks like he doesn't quite understand the question at first. He says, what are you talking about, Blair? What do you mean inspection?" And you see that creepy smile come over her face again. "Oh, I have some questions for your Jean. Something's come to my attention. I hope you understand, Lord McGurk. It's only for the sake of the Sabbat and the security of the sword. You would not undermine our security, would you?" And you hear like Jean like lean over in the pews looking at you and Marcus like, what the fuck is going on? Why the fuck does this stupid bitch want me? And Marcus, for his part, says, "I have no fucking idea. What the hell did you do, Jean?" And Jean's like, "I didn't do any fucking thing." "Oh shit, Tyler, do you think it's about that time inside Home Depot?" Marcus is like,
Shut
"What
the
you
fuck
doing
up.
over-"
Gene, shut the fuck up.
Oh man. Doc tries to appeal to the rest of the bishops, like, hey, Gene's in good standing over here. He's drank of the blood, man. He's sworn through the rites. Well, what kind of fucking interrogation does he need? You don't think he's a turncoat, do you? And you see some of the crowd all like start looking over at Duck, and it's a mixed emotion, but this does have everyone's interest. Like, you want Gene, and only one other person speaks up, and it's actually gonna be Liberty, as this one is referenced, and Liberty will say, "Lord McGurk, you just might want to get it over with." To look at Gene and say, "Look, it'll be all right. You won't die." Gene kind of, oh man, you know what? I'll just roll the fucking dice to see where it goes. Oh, thank God. Okay. Gene stands up in protest and is like, "No, fuck that. What is this creepy little bitch gonna do to me?" And Blair, she kind of like leans in, like she bends down a little bit and leans in from the stage, and is just like, "Come here, be all right, come here." Her finger, and Jean kind of looks terrified.
Tyler will hold Jean's hand.
Oh, no, cute. And Jean doesn't try to like struggle against you. Like touching him now makes him feel like a little trapped, right? And that's when that's when Tony starts coming forward towards Jean. And you can kind of pick up in his eyes that Tony's reluctant to do this. And he looks at collectively at the gutter dogs. He's gonna say, I don't like it any more than you guys do. He turns to Blair and says, Your Excellency, does it have to be public? Give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe take this in private. He shrugs. And she'll smile and say, But of course, we would not wish to dishonor any brother or sister in good standing. And again, Gene is kind of freaking out because he's like, no, what are you going to do to me? Where are we going? And he's, oh God. Tony's going to put a hand on Gene, and you're going to see him jerk violently, like, don't make this any harder. It can get worse. Now, Tyler, you really should roll your self-control roll. This is bordering a packmate in danger, and your vermiculums are going to start coming into play.
All right. Just self-control?
Yeah. Oh, fuck! Oh, fuck!
Why?
Why, indeed. Okay. You try to take a swing at a fucking Templar, dude.
Oh, shit.
Well, you know what? I won't say you try to take a swing, but you do try to like push Tony, like, you know, back the fuck off. He said he was coming, but Gene's like, no, I didn't. No, I didn't fucking say that. And yeah, hairs are bristling. Do you want to get a read of the room, Jason?
Yeah, I think so. Another peony.
Mm-hmm.
2 successes.
Okay. What you're getting off of Tony specifically is he doesn't like this. You can tell that what transpired, he might have actually been in a disagreement with Blair, but doing his job. Gene looks scared as fuck. And as for the rest of the room, there's interest, but a mild disinterest, as nobody really wants to get involved with this. You and your own pack mates. I think, you know what, I'll say this, only from Peter are you getting any sense of like sympathy for Gene.
Like we said the other week, A Sabbat esbat without at least one fight is an extremely dull affair.
Okay. What is your willpower rating, Tyler?
It is 5.
All right, I'll see if I can make this clean and sweet. All right. Tony barks at you like just a few short words. He tells you to sit the fuck down, and you feel almost like it's a telepathic push against you to just like fall right back into your seat. You don't bust your ass, but pop, you
Mhm.
go. And it's terrible as Gene really has no strength to struggle against Tony as he basically just drags him by the arm. And they disappear left of stage into a small hallway that leads to a back room. And Gene's voice is kicking and screaming as he gets there. And yeah, you're gonna hear a lot of terrible noises emanating from Gene. If you want to roll your stamina and occult to try to like hone in on what's going through him, you could try.
Okay. I don't have any occult, so it's just going to be stamina.
Mhm. Mm, no success. Yeah. This goes on for a few minutes as Bishop Mendoza takes the stage, right next to Serenity, and he makes it very clear that perhaps it is necessary that we move forward with destabilizing the city. So, as long as mortal authorities do not catch wind any of our activities, be it as it may, I want the good brothers and sisters of the sword to go forth and shake things up a bit. Make a lasting impact, whether it is against the police, the finance district, even if you, well, anything short of the Black Plague will do. But yes, we would like to exhaust the Camarilla's efforts to mount a sizable defense. Remember, keep it quiet. Meanwhile, one person's fucking screaming, the other person's lashing themselves. Kind of fucking ironic. By the time screaming's done from Gene, what you hear are sobbing. Much sobbing. As Gene actually like runs out of the corridor. And he doesn't even like sit back down. He just runs straight for the door and out. And you can I'll give it to you. You could tell that Tony was wearing like a fedora and it was kind of covering his eyes. He does not look proud of what just transpired back there. But Blair and her happy fucking ass, she looks like the cat that just ate the canary, and she resumes her place on the stage and retakes her seat. And yeah, Mendoza will announce that this aspect comes to a conclusion. All are free to come and stay as they wish.
Tyler's gonna fucking leave.
Oh, yes, Marcus and Duck are right behind you.
Yeah, considering everything that's gone on, Levesque, well, she's going to have to. I imagine she's probably going to have to wait until the rest of her pack decide that they want to leave, but you know.
So you're just gonna, you just want to wait. I'd imagine Serenity would stick around for a little bit just to acquaint herself with new faces and new people. I would say Peter looks a little bit disinterested. He's kind of hanging back from everything. While Reggie doesn't look like a damn thing is phased. Not at this point. But yeah, once Little John is done beating himself, not to make a pun on that, he recoups himself and puts his shirt back on, and he'll make his way towards the group, avoiding Reggie, of course, probably sitting beside you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that was finally done with. His voice, is hoarse. He's exhausted, but might be surprised by his choice of words.
Oh. What is there a problem?
Not anymore. Not anymore, sweet sister.
Well then, suppose it begs the question, where do we wish to go from here?
I would like a bite to eat. I am famished.
That sounds like a most doucement decision. I think I will join you.
Reggie doesn't say anything, but Peter says, yeah, let us go. I grow weary of these soirees. And you would see like Tony, I'm not Tony, Peter and John begin to leave, not really giving a regard if Serenity comes with them or not.
Mm-hmm.
But Reggie kind of hangs back, so it's up to you who you go with.
She'll go with Peter and Little John, I guess.
And okay, so to catch up with you and Gene, yeah, I'm gonna say eventually you will find Gene kind of like he's kind of hidden, but he tried to hide, although Marcus was able to locate him. Kind of like curled up in like a dark corner of one of these tenement buildings on the outside. I'm not gonna say like in a restricted area, but he's found some place where he can kind of like be alone. But yeah, you'll see that like shirt was ripped, and even in like his jeans, and he's kind of just like covering up and balled up, pretty traumatized. You can just sense it alone at this point. from your vernaculum to him. As you
He'll tentatively reach out a hand. Jean, man. You okay?
Jean just kind of like pats your hand away, and Duck looks very pissed off, and he's very pissed off, but he's trying to understand. He's like, "Oh, what happened? You ain't bleeding, are you? Got all your limbs? What's wrong?" And Jean's like, "I don't want to fucking talk about it. All right, can we just go?" And Marcus will say, "Yeah, sure, buddy. Want my coat?" And Marcus takes it off and he offers it to him, but Gene doesn't say thank you, but he does snatch it and covers himself with it and puts it over his shoulders. Like, yeah, let's go. And yeah, you guys can pile back into your Humvee. And Jim was still waiting there, for you guys.
Good job, Shane.
Yeah, of course. Jim would probably just like mouth the words to you, Tyler. Like, is he okay?
Tyler will like make that zipping noise against his zipping motion against his mouth and just say drive.
Okay. And for you, they'll ask when you catch up with Peter and John. You see the two of them are kind of like strolling by the waterfront side. It's like a cement walkway with a gate that looks over the East River. And you just hear the two of them casually talking. And they for some reason, away from the place, they seem a little bit more mirthful. Yeah. And you might hear the tail end of Peter saying, "Well, I'm glad to finally see you out of that stupid fucking cage. Now we can get down to real business, yeah." John just smiles. Indeed.
Wee. And Levesque will trot away up to Little John. It is most happy. I am most happy that you are finally out of that case. So it was a good luck on you. So it is not something that I would suggest that you adopt on a permanent position.
No. But it must be done to clear my name. Now that I am free, there's so much for us to do. What was it that Blair had said to you? I noticed that you two had a conversation.
Yes, she questioned me as to what I thought for my exact task that I was asked to do. I was perhaps a little bit confused, so she provided some degree of clarity. She also mentioned that if I felt that the task was perhaps a little not what I was expecting as far as my overall contributions to the crusade against the Gamabila, and Levesque theatrically spits away from her fellow Cainites. Then she presented a possible avenue that we could observe and report back if there is something there. Do you know where Columbia University is, perchance?
Oh yeah, it is. Well, it's way up north on Manhattan Island. It's not too easy to find. I mean, not too hard to find. You get there by train.
Bishop Blair says that there was at one point during the siege many years ago, or perhaps it was not that long ago, who knows, that the premier And Levesque gives another theatrical spit on the ground, away from their fellow Canaanites. Had a vested interest in the Columbia University. Perhaps they had a chantry there. Perhaps someone was residing there. Either way, Blair has made the suggestion that an investigation take place there to see if there is any trace of the father clan, as it were.
John rubs his chin. That would be a good place to start. Chances are, Amarillo would feel that they're safe now. Resume operations. If not, perhaps there are things still in place that hasn't been removed since they vacated the area. Yes, I could make much use looking over the place. My extra eyes on the ground wouldn't hurt either. Peter's going to ask you a question. He's going to ask you if you've ever tackled one of your own before.
Besides Messiah, no. But I do think that perhaps tackle is not the same way that you are insinuating, no?
Of course. When you go after one of the Tremere, you have to come at them from every angle. Up, down, sideways. You're going to have to do a lot of thinking outside of the box. How else do you draw out a mage who has all his power right under his roof?
Well, Leska thinks for a little while, and basically Leska is probably just going to try and surmise in her head what you can expect from what her sire told her from a chantry. I mean, you can let me go off with this stuff, or ask me to do a dice roll first, or whatever.
No, you can ad-lib it. You can ad-lib it.
Well, long story short, whenever a chantry is established, they need to make sure that the security measures are in place. Most often, this will be mundane stuff: locks, magnetic seals, key cards, codes, right stands, that type of thing. Any kind of mundane security that will ensure that no one will stumble into the chantry as a whole, at least not without knowing that it is there. After that, there is the wards. Most of them will have wards against kindred, or perhaps they will have more wards depending on the importance of the chantry. There is more than one purpose to individual chantries, of course. There will also maybe guardians, ghouls, sometimes a construct, gargoyle, homunculi, things of that nature. There will always be stars, weapons for the Tremere bad. Maybe swords, maybe guns, maybe crossbow. Depends on the size of the chantry as a whole. There will be a library, of course. Most likely the place that is closest to the living quarters. Research laboratory, places for thaumaturgic rituals. And of course, there will always be a hierarchy there, no matter whether there is only 5 or 50 Tremere.
We're going to need to rely on the spirits for guidance. And this is John speaking.
Mhm.
Hopefully, some of our old friends still lurk around there. Kind of just like taps himself on the nose, making the spirits to old friends reference. And I'll say with that, we'll end this scene. Thank you, players, for playing and watchers for watching. This is New York by Dark. We will see you again.